Welcome everybody to today's community meeting. As always, if you'd like to, please sign in. And if you have anything you'd like to discuss, throw it on the agenda. Looks like we have a mostly light agenda today. I think we just have a few updates around some of the projects, and then we'll also talk briefly about Sigstore Con since we have a deadline coming up tomorrow for that. I'll kick things off. I think I wrote a number of these, so I'll talk for a minute, but I'll ask the community as well if you have anything else you'd like to add. We have a new blog post up which talks about a new feature that we added to Fulcio, which is particularly relevant if you maintain an instance of Fulcio or if you would like to onboard as a CI identity provider. We've had a bit of a heavyweight process up to this point that required a lot of code duplication, understanding the code base a bit to add a new CI provider. And now it is all controlled via configuration. And let me see if we have an example in here. It is as simple as this. And then one of the other bits as well is if you've gone to add one of these providers before, typically within code, you have to create a mapping between the claims in your token and the extension values or extension keys within the certificates. Now this is all done via templating, which is a great feature. It should make it a lot easier to onboard new providers. So if you know anyone who runs CI and wants to onboard as an identity provider, or if you're interested as well in helping to update some of the existing providers, take a look at this. To mention, I guess, a couple, we have BuildKite that we onboarded a while ago, but it hasn't been updated with a lot of the new claims, so we should probably do that. And then Circle CI as well. I know for a while ago they wanted to onboard to Fulcio, so we just need someone to go do that. I think it was mostly it for Recore Fulcio and Cosign. I'll mention as well, I guess, for Cosign, there are a number of changes going to Cosign right now around conformance and getting Cosign up to date with some of the other Sigstore clients. So take a look at a number of the PRs flying around for that. There's a lot of great discussion going on. On the client side, I want to mention Sigstore RS just had a new release. Last community meeting, I mentioned that we had an update to our tough metadata. We now generate tough metadata using the Tough on CI framework, which has made it a lot easier to maintain our tough repository. As part of that, the tough metadata is fully conformant with the tough specification, and we have found a few issues in various clients around supporting that tough metadata. Sigstore RS was one that we knew we were going to have to make a breaking change. In order to support the new tough metadata. The new release should now resolve that. Were there any other updates from the client side? Cody, do you have anything you want to add for Sigstore Go? Alrighty. Quick thing on infrastructure. We just did a database migration. This happened, I guess, a week ago over the weekend. We are now on MySQL 8, which is interesting if you are running your own instance and want to upgrade to MySQL 8. We were previously on MySQL 5, which was getting end of life very soon. If you want to hear more, feel free to ping me or just make a post on Slack, and we can talk a little bit more about what that process was like and some of the learnings from it. But at this point, yeah, should all be smooth, and there should hopefully be no more downtime. And I guess I'll keep rambling on here. One other update for docs is we've been working on modernizing our documentation, getting a bit more up to date with mentioning other clients. As part of that, we're slightly restructuring the documentation. I don't know why is this the old. There should be. Here we go. Sorry. Sometimes our documentation caches an old version. You'll see here now we have a section dedicated to Cosign. The quick start guide's been slightly updated, and then we'll also include a new section with all of the other Sigstore SDKs and clients going forward. So that's ongoing. Were there any other updates anyone wanted to give for any other ongoing projects? So in the chat, Jeffrey asked, following up around cosine conformance and this EKU issue. Let's take this one offline. I don't. I'll have to get back to you and just refresh my memory on what was going on here. I think if I recall, where we had left off was some flexibility around what EKUs were supported. So feel free to ping me on Slack. Let's chat a little bit more offline about this. I think the TLDR here is that as part of refactoring cosine, one of the other discussions has been how do we support private PKI and a lot of flexibility versus kind of the well-lit path of Sigstore, which is you're using full CO, you're using Recore, which is more how the Sigstore SDKs have been created up at this point. So I want to support these private PKI use cases. I think there's a question of how do we do this in such a way that we create very, very clean APIs where if someone needs flexibility, we can direct them in one way, and then if they want this well-lit path, they'll use the official Sigstore SDK. So ping me over Slack. Let's chat a little bit more about this. Perfect. So I think the only other thing I wanted to mention for SigstoreCon, thank you to everyone who has submitted talks up to this point. We're starting to review them now. We did decide to extend the CFP by a few days. So the deadline is now this Wednesday, end of day. I think the actual time is 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. As always, if you wanted to submit a talk, it does not have to just be about Sigstore. We're also encouraging other SSCI projects like Salsa, Tuft, and Toto to give talks as well. So if you haven't submitted one, you've got 1 day now to do so. So let your colleagues know. We're really, really excited to start reviewing these. We did push out the notifications for talks by 1 week. So I think previously we had said it would be next week. So we'll do it, I think it's October 2nd. So let me also make a note of this. For notifying. Oops. And I'll also mention if you're registering for KubeCon, you can now register for SigstoreCon at the same time. It's the same $50 cost, but it just goes through a slightly different flow. Alrighty. Was there anything else anyone wanted to discuss? Alrighty, short and sweet. Well, as always, if you want to chat more, just make a post on Slack or find us on GitHub. Hope everybody has a great couple of weeks. We'll chat again soon.